Good afternoon, class. I hope that all of you have a good day today. So, our lesson for today is about motion. So, what is motion? So, before we proceed to our topic about motion, I have here a video in which it describes about motion, what really about motions. So here is the video.
Force and motion. Imagine you're playing in a playground. Think of all the things around you that can move. The seesaw goes up and down. The swings go back and forth. The merry-go-round goes around in a circle. There are so many ways in which things move. Everything we just described is a type of motion. Motion is movement from one place to another. When the seesaw is still and you and a friend sit on it, it begins to have motion. One seat goes up while the other goes down. They change their positions. Position is the place where you are. If you change your position, you are moving. There are different types of motion.
Okay, so that is motion. And now class, let's proceed to our activity. Are you excited? Yes, very excited. Now, it's our activity. So, here in our activity, so what do is, I need to divide you into two groups, which is the first group is group A and the group group B. So what to do is, in the fourth picture, you need to, in the picture that is shown, you need to observe what will happen to the train, to the man and bike, and the third, we also have the ghost that is flying, and the meteor that is shooting. So here in activity, you need to observe what happened. So because this activity is a part of emotions. Okay, so after your activity, you need to first need to get one member to explain what have you observed, and picture number 1, picture number 2, and picture number 3 and 4. So you need to explain what have you observed. Okay, let's proceed. Okay, so our first question: what is moving and how is its position changing? And second, what is your frame of reference if the train is moving? How can we perceive motion depends on our frame of reference. So that's it for our activity. Okay, you'll have good work. Now let's proceed to our main topic about motion. So what is motion? Motion is a process of an object moving or being moved. Motion that is repeats is said to occur in a pattern. We observe that the motion is to make predictions about how things will move in the future. The force that slows down moving object is called friction. It is defined as a changing in position in relation to a reference point. So what is your reference point? So a reference point is a place of object used to comparison to determine if something is a motion. An object is a motion if it changes positions relative to a reference point. Object that we call stationary, such as a tree, a sign, or a building, make good reference point. So what is really motion? as we have said, like for example, a motion that is moving changes its position, just like walking. So here in a walking, you can observe that it is if you are going to the street and you're just walking, you are just changing positions. So that is what we call motions. Okay, very good. So now, what is linear motion? So linear motion is a straight line. So what is linear motion? So here in a linear motion, just like for example, a car is moving. So if a car is moving and if is straight line, that is what we call linear motion. So that is linear motion from because the car is moving and the car is moving and it is a straight line. Not like the car is going to the left or right. That is what we call nonlinear motion. So what is nonlinear motion? A nonlinear motion is a motion that is not a straight line. Just like what I have said, a nonlinear motion is going to the right or might be left, just like the car. That is what we call nonlinear motion. So now, when analyzing the linear and nonlinear motion, a distance or displacement, speed, velocity, acceleration, and deceleration are some commonly encountered physical quantities. So in our motion, this is a very important because not like it might be an object, but there's more to motion object that simply changes position. So I also have here an example. First example is if you're walking walking to the street. So walking to the street, you're just changing positions, or might be you're playing to the ground. That is changing positions. Through changing position, that is what we also called motions. I also have here a second example in which we can tell that it is also a motion by changing its positions. So we can assume that the school bus passes by as a stand on a sidewalk. So we're just in a sidewalk, and then we're just seeing a school bus. So, and it's obvious, right, that the bus is moving. So maato siya makuanan nga ang bus gyud siya move gyud siya. So dili na nato makuan nga it's changing positions because it's moving. So but what about to the children inside the bus? Unsa may nakuan nato if we are just seeing the school bus, not like the children in the inside of the school bus. So and the bus isn't moving relative to them as they are look after the children. So because they're just sitting on the bus, so dili jud ang children dili jud makabantay if the bus is moving because they're just sitting. Not unlike that, if the ride is really smooth, the children may only be able to tell that the bus is moving by looking at the window or seeing the trees that is whistling by. So dili nato siya makitaan nga the bus is moving if musakay, like for example if masakay ta sa bus or sa jeep, dihan nato makakuan nga ang bus is moving na siya if magtanaw ta sa gawas. So dili na nato makuan nga that is also a motion by changing positions. So that is motions. So here in a motion, there are lots of motion, not like objects or implying changes positions, but in an environment. There's a lot of motions to do. Not also it might be the bird that also emotions by changing positions. It might be by a straight line. It might be non-linear motion because if the bird is go to by straight line, or it might be non-linear motion. It might be the bird is going to the right or left. So that is what we call also a motion by changing positions. Okay, so that is motions. Okay, so that's all for my this afternoon about motions. I hope that all of you will understood about the motion, because motion is a very important with us, and to know about the changing positions. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you and bye.